Get ready for battle!
You'll find I'm not as naive as Kakarot.
It's all or nothing! Fight it out!
Interesting. Kefla. So those two women fused. You know I'm going to win, so there's no point in watching the fight, right? That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Watch it! The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. Stop! Unacceptable. That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. There's no such thing as a dirty fight. The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. There's no such thing as a dirty fight. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. I alone am more than enough. There's no such thing as a dirty fight. Unacceptable. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you won. So this is how you act after losing just one teammate?
Don't you dare lose!
You think you're okay with this much gap between them? How nice. Why you here? They got knocked back from that. They're clearly losing it. Come on. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. Can't even handle this. This isn't all you've got, right? There's no such thing as a dirty fight. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them.
No more games.
That's how it's done. Is that all? Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Over here. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
Finally, it's my turn to have some fun.
You think you're okay with this much gap between you? How naive.
Come on!
I've been using this as a setup for their next attack. Over here, get ready. Those who give up when things don't go their way don't belong. Looks like you're able to win this one, but it's far from over. You're in for some real trouble if you're getting cocky over this.
Unyielding body of mine!
That was surprisingly worth watching.
The very thought of challenging a god. Ha! Knowing that you cannot win, you still persist. How truly foolish you are. Are you ready?
Interesting. So those two women fused. You know I'm going to win, so there's no point in watching the fight, right? Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. That's how it's done. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. Your plans end with me. Is that it? That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Other options. So you're after a draw, then? Your enemy's not going to wait for you, you know. Get out of my way. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it?
Now you're talking.
What are you doing holding back from an equally strong opponent?
Let's go
Already. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you'll have to make use power.
Let's do
It might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off.
Damn it!
Good one. Down you go. Try that. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. Your enemy's not going to wait for you, you know. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight.
Such power. So this is what he's capable of.
The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around.
What's with this attack?
You can't handle my
I've been using this as a setup for their next attack. Or finish this. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Come on.
No way!
I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. This isn't all you've got, right? The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
Stands a chance against this unyielding body of mine!
It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it?
This is a technique of God!
This isn't all you've got, right?
I am not impressed.
You really are careful if you're getting cocky over this kind of a lead. Over here. That's more like it.
Down you go!
It's easy to get careless. You barely won. You lack the power to keep this up.
Knowing that you cannot win, you still persist. How truly foolish you are.
Interesting.
Kefla. So those two women fused.
You know I'm going to win, so there's no point in watching the fight, right? You might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. I suppose that was pretty good for a first attack. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. This wasn't a bad attack. Sure might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. Is that all you've got? Big bang! I've watched this much. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. That's enough. Is that it? This is the end? One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer.
Now!
You can't find holes in your enemies. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. Unleash your power. You seem to know when to switch in and out.
Predictable. Predictable.
Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up.
Predictable. Evil must perish.
Come on. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. One heavy attack isn't enough. If they can't handle this kind of fight, then they're weaker than I thought. Looks like this has turned into a somewhat decent fight.
Your turn!
What are you waiting for? Get serious and show them what you've got! You think you're okay with this much gap between you? Well, no. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. I've watched this much, so it'd be nice to see some sort of dramatic comeback. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. I would be satisfied with these results. Remember this for next time.
Stands a chance against this unyielding body of mine!
The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. I'm tired of just watching. Let me fight next.
Disrupted finish! The very thought of challenging a god. Ha! Goku Black! Win!
You Saiyans continue to try time and time again, but your efforts are for naught. You display nothing but savagery.
You'll find I'm not as naive as Kakarot.
It's all or nothing!
Interesting. I'm fighting Kefla.
So those two women fused.
You know I'm going to win, so there's no point in watching the fight, right?
They're evenly matched. There must be some way to tip the scales.
There's no such thing as a dirty fight. That wasn't a bad attack. Well, that settles it then. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. Watch it! You think you're okay with this much gap between us? How naive.
That's more like it.
The fighter's controlling when the opponent switches out. They know they're not impressed. They accepted a beat. That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to knock things off.
This is the end.
That wasn't a bad attack. Test. You think you're okay with this much gap between you? How naive. Acceptable. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was.
I am not attacking.
The match just might be over. Do smart thinking. The Tibet move pays off. This is the end. What are you doing holding back from an equally strong opponent? This is already... They're evenly matched. There must be some way to tip the scales. This becomes... If they can't handle this kind of fight, then they're weaker than I thought. I guess it's worth seeing how they're going to get back into the fight. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
Ready to bust some heads!
There's no such thing as a dirty fight. That's more like it. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them.
Right here!
This isn't all you've got, right? That wasn't a bad attack.
It is unwise to make me wait.
Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight.
Down you go.
You really are carefree if you're getting caught here for this kind of a lead. That's my thinking. The Tibet move pays off. You really are carefree if you're getting caught here for this kind of a lead. No escape. You plan on finishing them off with this one attack. That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. The real fun starts now. Prepare yourself.
Finally, it's my turn to have some fun!
That's more like it. Well, that settles it then.
That actually kind of hurt!
The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. I alone am more than enough.
Let's test this power out! Let's test this is all my power!
The real fight starts now. Is that all you've got?
I can do this all day!
The two of them are finally fighting with everything they've got. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was.
Now you tell
The
me.
real fun starts now.
They've got potential. I can train them alongside Kaba.
Put me and Kale together, and what do you get? The strongest Saiyans around.
Kefla! Win!
Super Saiyan Rosé? Is that different than the blue